Final Fantasy XIV, the holy land of femboys and PhD holders that understand rotations down to the millisecond. I mean, honestly, forget the introduction. I'm just curious how this archaic 2010 looking game survived this long. On top of that, this game still uses the pay-per-month system, which also has paid expansions. This has to either be the best MMO under God's green earth, or cat girls have just brainwashed the masses. Either way, this is my 50-ish hour adventure through Eorzea. I'm sure this isn't your first time hearing of Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMORPG. What? Right. I mean, I've had friends that would. Final Fantasy is currently on sale and has a free trial with unlimited playtime, which includes the award-winning expansion. As I was saying, I've heard about the game for a long time, and I've played my fair share of MMOs. I mean, I was putting up prime LeBron numbers on these games, but the biggest appeal of most of them was that it was free to play. Basically, I could try it and drop it if I didn't like it. Even if I was tempted with Final Fantasy XIV, there was always one reason I didn't drop money to play. The beginner player experience. The horror stories. The trust me bro, it gets good after you sacrifice your firstborn hours. Anyway, let's just get going. One of my favorite parts of an MMO is character creation. And unfortunately, I did not record that part. But I fitted out my character a bit and went to choose my race, which was locked behind an expansion that was so far down the line I could not fathom it. My bunny boy dreams were crushed. But while we're here, let's break down the casual racism in Final Fantasy XIV. At least that's what I was told. The humans seemed to not be as popular. This is from a well-respected member of the community with over 1,000 hours in the game. According to them, the here are freaks in parentheses. Bad. What the f that means I don't really know, but yeah, that's where the humans are at. The male Vieras, aka the bunny people, are gay and freaky, in all caps. The female Vieras are the best race in Final Fantasy XIV. That's just gotta be racism, right? The male Aura, specifically, are PDF files and predators. I'm guessing the female ones don't exist because I didn't really get a note for that one. The Hrothgar. Furries, no explanation needed, I think. The Mikote, cat girl central, and yes sir, this is the Final Fantasy gameplay I was talking about. The Lalas, kids, question mark, cute question mark, gremlin in all caps. Honestly, from my understanding, the Lalas are agents of chaos whose sole existence is to fuck your shit up. The Elezen, elf, same thing with the furries, no explanation needed, I think. The male Rogadins are buff gay men. The female Rogadins, in their words not mine, buff mommy. If you know, you know. Wink wink. Also, real quick, if this video hits 100 likes, I will be playing the expansions for Final Fantasy XIV and make a full video on the game. Also, please subscribe because honestly, it means a lot more to me as a tiny YouTuber. So, the early game, I kind of forgot about it. It's like repressing childhood trauma. Okay, I'm kidding, it wasn't that bad, but it was bad. I can't tell you anything I did for the first 20 hours. I don't know how long, maybe 30 levels or 40 levels. It was all walking to an NPC, killing something, and walking to another NPC. It was a little annoying at first because I couldn't even do the quest without grinding till level 10. Apparently there's a hunter log where killing a certain number of insects gives you bonus EXP. After hitting a level 10, I haven't touched that system since, but it was nice to have. Now the main questline. I think this kind of storytelling worked back in 2010, but now I just really need the fully based main story quests at least. If I wanted to read a book, I'd go to a library. Nah, I wouldn't do that, I just read online. But you get the point. Also, why the f do I look so ass, gang? Whenever I look at another character, they're fully dripped out like they came out of a fashion magazine. I guess I just have to drop some cash, but that can wait. The first thing that broke up the monotony of the quests were the dungeons, and they were pretty alright. Nothing amazing or anything to write home about, but it's just in the midst of all the games that you can play, whatever this is, isn't it? But you know, I understand it's a little unfair because all of this actually did come out more than a decade ago. So comparing this to something like, I don't know, Genshin Impact, yeah, no, that's a weird comparison. But these quests and combat encounters just really weren't doing it for me. I need to play the newer expansions to give the game a fair review, but this isn't that. This is about the new player experience. There was a point in the story that actually started getting interesting, and what do you know, it had voice acting in it. But that can wait. Let's talk about the dungeons. These weren't bad, and I did like the fact that it changed up the gameplay loop. I also like the boss fights. I can see how the raids can be really fun, but I'm just not there yet. For now, these little boss encounters are the most fun I've had playing the game. The first one that I actually remembered to record was a pirate den. It was pretty chill with the trash mobs and little puzzles, even beating up on a tank of a boss, which either I'm dog water or these things are actually damage sponges. The next one had spiders and things. Honestly, it was just cool running around with a group of people, beating the shit out of every moving object. In the end, even beating up this wizard rat was pretty fun. Now, some of the story quests did have cutscenes. I just really like this one. And yeah, the silent screaming is funny as f to me. Anyway, the next important story beat was meeting up with the Scions. The character designs for all of them were interesting and unique, which really helped my empty brain to recognize them easier. And I wish I could tell you what the story is, but this is where I have a confession to make. I literally have no fucking clue what's going on. I'm pretty much just walking around like an NPC. But hey, who cares? All we're here to see is Balmung, baby. Oh, if the streets could talk, I think the whole server would get deleted. Now, from my inside intel, this cesspool of interesting players have claimed the entire world for one reason and one reason only. RP. There are an ungodly amount of people just sitting around. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm sure you do though. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm sure it's not all bad. We got this dead guy just chilling on the side of the road. We have a bench that's dedicated just for this room is so full of people, I can't even load them all in at the same time. Honestly, it's a sight to see, and I can't really hate on people for what they do in their free time. Also, this Lala spawned out of nowhere and I just had to see what they were up to. He put the moves on me for a bit, not gonna lie, but eventually he stopped moving, so I lost interest. But after that little adventure, I went back to questing. This is also around the time I decided to drop some cash and actually get the game and look decent, if only to not look like some NPC number 67 soldier while I fight literal gods. Next up, I ran into a succubus dungeon. It was actually pretty fun, and the final boss has an interesting mechanic. But either way, it fell and it was cute. Also, the cutscene in the end was interesting to say the least. Right, I totally forgot. So I wanted to play as some of the newer classes, but that was locked behind an expansion. So I settled on Samurai, which was locked behind level 50. So until then, I played as a Lancer. It was alright, a little confusing since I thought I had to click to default attack, but that wasn't a thing. Also, the quest to unlock the Samurai, yeah, that footage got corrupted, so let me just do a reenactment. Samurai guy challenges me to a 1v1. I'm moving around like a idiot, thinking I actually dodge attacks by moving. It turns into a bit of a heal off, then some failed apprentice shows up, so we beat the shit out of him and his goons. The samurai teacher says we're cool and bam, the class is ours. Hey wait, that's the thing in like every Final Fantasy game. What is it? Why is it in every game? I don't really know. Also, I started playing Final Fantasy 16, so this scene was pretty funny for me. Ifrit, Titan, and Garuda show up together, then out of nowhere this metal thing pops up and eats everyone. Us seeing that, we decide that we don't want anything to do with it and kinda dip. This is also around the time where I actually meet the whole evil crew. I've seen their faces every now and then, but hey, we're finally meeting with the gang. But we're back to questing, baby. Yes, sir. I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, the next part I remember doing was stealing this robot thing, which didn't work, but after some fighting it came alive, like sentient. I don't really know, man, I'm here for the ride. Anyway, we find out the Scions have been kidnapped, or at least the leader was, so we decide to break into prison, which we do, where we also just break everything. We end up escaping, almost escaping. We end up being cornered and literally pushed to the edge, which is also where we get saved. It's pretty sick. Also, these two had a bit of a run-in with one of the big four. That was cool to see, and not really sure what came of it other than an ego fight. But back into the present. We basically jump off the cliff and rise on a flying ship and get the hell out of there. Because the fucking big bad dragon mech thing shows up. This is also where we get the reveal of... Yeah, now the story's getting interesting. The party has a conversation about either what the next plans are or not to give up. Simple, but I'm down. We also cut to the 4 leaders of the nation, which I kinda don't remember at all, but they're here now and they're probably going to have a fight, which is where we come in and unify them. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens. We remind them of our history and that we never back down. And just like that, the leaders are on our side and we prepare for the final showdown. But first, we pick a fight with one of the core members. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that. But we beat the life out of him. I mean, his guards come in to help, but after slaughtering them, like a pathetic soldiers that they are, we come back for a phase 2, where he gets put down again. He thinks I'm chained in here with him, but no, this bitch is chained in here with me.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the f—
After taking him down, we're finally able to infiltrate the main base of the bad guys. We take out the guys guarding the outside area before we head in. This is when we run into Livia, another one of the big 4, which we promptly bend over and completely obliterates. Honestly, these little boss fights are the most fun I've had playing the game so far, so I'm all here for this. But you know, as a last Arc player, after doing the Legion raids in that game, this dodge AoE thing is a little baby for me. But hey, I haven't played the endgame raids in Final Fantasy XIV, which if you want to see me make another Final Fantasy video, let's get at least 100 likes on this. That's a fair goal, right? Let's go with that. It doesn't take long and Livia drops like the others, calling out for her lord. We kinda feel bad for her, simping for someone she's never going to get, but we move on pretty quickly. On to the final part of the quest, storming the castle. Cid leads us in. Hold on a minute. Cid? I guess Square Enix just really likes that name, huh? Or could it be? Where was I? Right. So we storm the place, which is just us decimating the lives of these poor suckers, until eventually we meet up with the Lord himself. He explains the technology for all this was built by Cid's father, and he wishes for Cid to join them. Honestly, for a second, I thought Cid would do it because that would be a fucking crazy twist. But no, we tell the Lord to shove his opera up his ass and beat the shit out of the robot he sicks on us. Soon after, we get our own robot, which just makes killing the small enemies faster. But we have to put it out of commission for now, as we use 1000% of its power to burst down this door. Behind we meet Nero, or Nero. I guess Square Enix really likes reusing names, huh? Nero goes on a rant about being a jealous ex-girlfriend of Cid, so we just put him down, cause honestly fuck this guy. He was alright, and after taking him down, he seems happy that he bought enough time for the ultimate weapon. We get on the elevator down, where we come face to face with the last of the 4, the Lord himself, Gaius. He extends an olive branch, wanting us to join him by his side to shred the world of its lies. But he's talking to the wrong guy. I don't care about any of that. All I'm here for are the cat girls, baby. And so, the fight f***ing starts. And yes, this fight is the best fight in the game so far. The light keeps protecting us and we keep wailing on the ultimate weapon. All the while, La Habria shows up and talks about how the crystals are protecting us. Since somehow Gaius didn't understand why we were just unaffected by all the bullshit spells he was using. Laha then brings up a secret power of ultimate weapon, the secret spell, Ultima. Yeah, I can't even make that shit up, what a great name, guys. But he basically takes over and uses Gaius to cast the spell Ultima, which just blows up the entire place. We still keep fighting anyway, since we do not care. We take him down and he keeps yapping about how we should have been on his side. There really isn't a chance to talk more as the ultimate weapon blows up and we start the fight with La Habria. It's a cool fucking fight. It had me sweating for a little bit. There was this part where I had to break these arcane orbs and I genuinely thought I fucked up, but of course it was a staged death. The music starts to swell again as we get back up and finish what we started. The AoEs and beams being cast everywhere didn't scare me at all as we continue to wail on this motherfucker. Even after killing him, we weren't done with him. We eviscerate his soul with the power of hope, friendship, and take our boy back from whatever was possessing him. The fight's over, but the place starts to break down around us. Remember that robot from before? We hitch a ride with them and get out while we leave behind Gaius as he just fucking blows up. And just like that, we get the good ending. The leaders celebrate our victory and give a speech on our behalf. But like seriously, what were they doing though? But I don't dwell on it for too long. The victory is ours and I'm sure there's only peace that follows. What the fuck is all this, gang? But hey, I guess we're just gonna ignore that for now. If you want to know what happens next, fork up the $20, bitch. So that's where I end my journey for now. If I'm being honest with you guys, it was pretty unenjoyable. I would say out of the 40-ish hours I've played so far, maybe 5 of those I actually enjoyed. I'm not really holding the game to that though. After all, most of this was made almost 15 years ago, I think. But I wish they upgraded it and brought it into 2024. Voicing every part of the quest or having a way to fast track it and cutting out the filler would go a long way. It was really tiring for me to go through just walking from NPC to NPC while killing random enemies in between in complete silence. I will commend the game for its amazing soundtrack, especially during its fights. They are certified bangers. I think when people say trust me it gets good after 100 hours, maybe onto something here, and maybe I'll find out what it is. If you guys want to see that, drop a like. And that's all for me now. I hope you guys enjoyed this bite-sized adventure enough to subscribe, and of course, I hope to see you in the next one.